Vietnam, officially the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, is a country at the eastern edge of mainland Southeast Asia, with an area of about 331,000 square kilometers and a population of over 100 million, making it the world's 15th most populous country. One of the two Marxist Leninist states in Southeast Asia, Vietnam shares land borders with China to the north, and Laos and Cambodia to the west. It shares maritime borders with Thailand through the Gulf of Thailand, and the Philippines, Indonesia, and Malaysia through the South China Sea. Its capital is Hanoi and its largest city is Ho Chi Minh City. Vietnam went through prolonged warfare in the 20th century. After World War II, France returned to reclaim colonial power in the First Indochina War, from which Vietnam emerged victorious in 1954. As a result of the treaties signed between the Viet Minh and France, Vietnam was also separated into two parts. The Vietnam War began shortly after, between the Communist North Vietnam, supported by the Soviet Union and China, and the anti-communist South Vietnam, supported by the United States. Upon the North Vietnamese victory in 1975, Vietnam reunified as a unitary socialist state under the Communist Party of Vietnam in 1976. An ineffective planned economy, a trade embargo by the West, and wars with Cambodia and China crippled the country further. In 1986, the CPV initiated economic and political reforms similar to the Chinese economic reform, transforming the country to a socialist-oriented market economy. The reforms facilitated Vietnamese reintegration into the global economy and politics. Vietnam is a developing country with a lower middle-income economy. It has high levels of corruption, censorship, environmental issues and a poor human rights record. It is part of international and intergovernmental institutions including the ASEAN, the APEC, the CPTPP, the Non-Aligned Movement, the OIF, and the WTO. It has assumed a seat on the United Nations Security Council twice. Archaeological excavations have revealed the existence of humans in what is now Vietnam as early as the Paleolithic Age. Stone artifacts excavated in Gia Lai province have been claimed to date to 780,000 years ago, based on associated find of tektites. However, this claim has been challenged because tektites are often found in archaeological sites of various ages in Vietnam. Homo erectus fossils dating to around 500,000 BC have been found in caves in Lang Son and Nagayan provinces in northern Vietnam. The oldest Homo sapiens fossils from mainland Southeast Asia are of Middle Pleistocene provenance, and include isolated tooth fragments from Tham Om and Hang Hum. Teeth attributed to Homo sapiens from the late Pleistocene have been found at Dong Can, and from the early Holocene at Mai Da Du, Lang Gao and Lang Kuam. Areas comprising what is now Vietnam participated in the Maritime Jade Road, as ascertained by archaeological research. Vietnam is located on the eastern Indochinese peninsula between the latitudes 8 degrees and 24 degrees north, and the longitudes 102 degrees and 110 degrees east. It covers a total area of 331,210 square kilometers or 331,699 square kilometers. The combined length of the country's land boundaries is 4,639 kilometers, and its coastline is 3,444 kilometers long. At its narrowest point in the central Quang Binh province, the country is as little as 50 kilometers across, though it widens to around 600 kilometers in the north. Vietnam's land is mostly hilly and densely forested, with level land covering no more than 20%. Mountains account for 40% of the country's land area, and tropical forests cover around 42%. The Red River Delta in the north, a flat, roughly triangular region covering 15,000 square kilometers, is smaller but more intensely developed and more densely populated than the Mekong River Delta in the south. Once an inlet of the Gulf of Tonkin, it has been filled in over the millennia by riverine alluvial deposits. The delta, covering about 40,000 square kilometers, is a low-level plain no more than 3 meters above sea level at any point. It is crisscrossed by a maze of rivers and canals, which carry so much sediment that the delta advances 60 to 80 meters into the sea every year. The exclusive economic zone of Vietnam covers 417,663 square kilometers in the South China Sea. Throughout the history of Vietnam, its economy has been based largely on agriculture, primarily wet rice cultivation. Bauxite, an important material in the production of aluminium, is mined in central Vietnam. Since reunification, the country's economy is shaped primarily by the CPV through 5-year plans decided upon at the plenary sessions of the Central Committee and National Congresses. The collectivization of farms, factories, and capital goods was carried out as part of the establishment of central planning, with millions of people working for state enterprises. Under strict state control, Vietnam's economy continued to be plagued by inefficiency, corruption in state-owned enterprises, poor quality and underproduction. Based on findings by the International Monetary Fund in 2022, the unemployment rate in Vietnam was 2.3%, the nominal GDP $406.452 billion United States dollars, and a nominal GDP per capita $4,086. Besides the primary sector economy, tourism has contributed significantly to Vietnam's economic growth with 7.94 million foreign visitors recorded in 2015. As a result of several land reform measures, Vietnam has become a major exporter of agricultural products. It is now the world's largest producer of cashew nuts, with a one-third global share, the largest producer of black pepper, accounting for one-third of the world's market, and the second largest rice exporter in the world after Thailand since the 1990s. The overall fisheries production of Vietnam from capture fisheries and aquaculture was 5.6 million mt in 2011 and 6.7 million mt in 2016. The output of Vietnam's fisheries sector has seen strong growth, which could be attributed to the continued expansion of the aquaculture subsector.